Hi again, and if you've been following these videos, then you know that I'm talking about The Rebel Method, my new book, which is coming out on the 13th of October, and we have a great big book launch on the 15th of October in Epsom in Surrey. I'd love you to be there, and there's a link underneath this video where you can find out how to join the launch on the 15th of October, but also to register your interest to receive a copy of the book when it comes out. So that's very, very exciting. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the Rebel Method. So what is the Rebel Method? A little bit about where it came from. I was having a conversation with my marketing manager one day, and she said to me, "What do you do with your clients?" And first of all, I said, well, one of the things I really work with is the inner critic. So yeah, removing the inner critic. Now, we don't need to remove our inner critic. We need to reduce our inner critic, but we also need to have a relationship with our inner critic. So there's lots of R's there: remove, reduce, have a relationship. But that is the R, the beginning of the Rebel Method. It's all about that inner critic, that inner voice that tells us we're not good enough, you could have done better, why did you do that, oh, you're so crap, all those words. Oh, don't speak, because if you speak, people will judge you, all that kind of stuff. So R is all about that and reducing that monkey brain that goes on, that inner critic. So when we did this, we came out with the R, the B and the L. So I'm just going to speak about those. Now the B is about being yourself. That's been massive for me in my recovery journey. I was the biggest people pleaser you can ever imagine. And I was also so scared to share my truth. I don't really know why, but I wasn't able to be myself. And actually, when we are not ourselves, it leads to depression, because we all know what our true selves are deep down, but we lose sight of that. We become misguided. We people please. We go with what society expects of us. Our values that we have in life are completely squashed. And so we lose sight of just being ourselves. So be yourself is really, really important. So that's the B. And then the L was just live the life you dream of, which comes on from just getting rid of that inner critic, being yourself, and then you can just live a life that you dream of, because you're not worried anymore. You're not scared with your own voice, and you're not scared of other people's voices. But what we got left with was R, B and L, and we got left with, okay, what do we do with R, B and L? And I said, I know what word this makes. Rebel. And actually that is me all over. As you'll find out when you read the book, if you read the book, that my story is one of rebellion. Rebellion against society, rebellion against everything that I was led to believe as a child growing up. Rebellion against how I felt inside. And the only way I could express that was through rebellion. And that very much started in my teenage years. And I am a little bit of a rebel as well. As an adult, I like to do things a little bit differently. I like to push the boundaries. I like to follow through with my visions, which people sometimes think, wow, that's insane, that's crazy. But that's me. And so I came up with the two other E's. Two E's that go, the E that goes between the R and the B, and the E that goes between the B and the L. So the first E is educate. Educate about the brain. Now, I'm all about that. Having trained as a CBT therapist back in 2005, I qualified, and I've had a huge interest in how our brains work. What makes our brain be a certain way? What makes us go into fight or flight? What makes us fearful? What causes all those reactions that we have? So the E is educate, understand the brain. And in the book, I'll show you ways to educate yourself and understand about the way that your brain works. And actually the biggest message is a lot of the time it's not your fault. How you feel is not your fault. Your brain is just doing stuff that actually you don't have much control over. Because we're always saying, oh, I should feel better today, or I shouldn't feel anxious in this situation, or we get frustrated with ourselves. But when you understand why the brain works the way it does, it helps you. And then the other E, between the B and the L, is eliminate anxiety and depression. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, just the being yourself, getting rid of the inner critic, we do start to eliminate anxiety and depression. But in the book, I show you some more techniques to eliminate, eradicate, to reduce anxiety and depression. Because sometimes these things don't go away 100%, but we can learn to live, and we can find a way to live a good life, to put our heads on the pillow at the end of the day and go, actually, that was an okay day. I did okay today. I got through the day and I didn't feel too bad. You know, because we can spend years feeling so anxious and so depressed, and until we learn the skills or understand about ourselves, we just continue to go downhill, because the brain just really is trying to get you out of a really difficult situation. But sometimes the brain doesn't know how to do that. So we have to kind of step in and train our brains a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's all very exciting. And, you know, I'm just so thrilled that I'm able to share some of this knowledge with everybody through the book. Yeah, it just lights my heart up that so many people have been able to hear and read about how these methods can really, really help you. So stay tuned. A little bit more of the book will be coming over the next few days. And take care and have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night, depending on what time you're watching this video. And as I say, the link is below. If you want to go to the page on my website, you can find out about the book launch, but also register your interest to receive a copy of the book. Take care.